I walked down this street in London, and either side were trees behind trees. I inhale the air they make, and I would as little chop them down as I would my daughter, for her life depends on theirs. And they talk to me. We want, they and I say, it is time that woods become again the place of succour, source of life and heart and peace. Value that we still don't count on the balance sheets in the offices of man. The trees growing over the graves say, we are the dead, brought to new life. We are the ashes to ashes, the dust to dust. These trees are the monuments to the deceased. These paupers in their graves are glorified now in the magnificence of the canopies umbelliferae. It is said, you do not own the land owns you. For the sea reclaims your blood, and the soil your body. And so it is. I walk down this street in London, and either side are trees behind trees. I inhale the air they make, and I would as little chop them down as I would my daughter, for her life depends on theirs. They talk to me. We want, they and I say, it is time that woods become again the place of succour, source of life and heart and peace. Value that we still don't count on the balance sheets in the offices of man. The trees growing over the graves say, we are the dead, brought to new life. We are the ashes to ashes, the dust to dust. These trees are the monuments to the deceased. These paupers in their graves are glorified now in the magnificence of the canopies umbelliferae. It is said, you do not own the land owns you. The sea reclaims your blood, the soil your body, and so it is. Trees are my sacred personages. Cut them down, you strike my soul and demean it. You blaspheme my nature, because I am nature. By felling any tree, you fell me too, and every human and every creature whose breath relies upon them. All are precious to me, via an abiding and very real need. Without them we think. That's a fact. That is real. That is for the living. The dead have died and need no more sustenance than our respect, for indeed they become our sustenance. This here is not a grave, but a grove of our ancestors, giving us life through their leaf. We are all absolutely one. Cut down one, you cut down us all. One day I will be an ancestor, and I wish for all our children that my death will not mean theirs. It is pure and total egocentricity that my old clackety bones be considered so important that a tree giving off the only force that can give life need be chopped down. Who and what would I call myself then? What type of mother? What type of grandmother? The dead do not want to lie in graves devoid of life. They want to live. They speak of life, that before we know it we will be gone. Who to come therefore after us but our own flesh and blood? And the same tree I sat under today could be the same tree to offer breath, beauty and solace, all that is life to my daughter. My ashes too might feed that tree, so then I too may speak to my great-grandchildren, and I'll be there giving life, not death, as love does, giving life even in death. This is the legacy you need to leave our children, so they can honor and venerate your names. The original meaning of office is help, so help. Let us not curse our grandchildren, and they in turn curse us. I speak as a child, a mother, as one dead. Trees are needed for life, and I wish only life for our descendants. Or they will get caught up in a tidal wave of climate change, a rolling breakdown of events, colloquially and accurately referred to as a clusterfuck. Nestled here you hold this treasure, and it is not called so lightly. It is part of a wild network, and the planet depends upon it. We do, our children do. Each knot of this net that is unpicked allows larger holes to come into being, increasing the chances of it unraveling, and they will fall through. I remind you of the saying, a stitch in time. The fabric of nature is already frayed. Do not imperil it any further. This is not the time to keep on snipping at its infrastructure. This is the time to turn back and put the blade down, to repair the nets. Do we keep this treasure safe or drop it? What are we going to have to show to our children? Graves for them to climb into? Because I really don't think you grasp the gravity of this situation, I speak now with no small matter of urgency. The time to act, to save what we have, was when I was a child, and it is gone. We can only mitigate the situation now or make it worse. This is not a matter of meeting our considerations only, fulfilling our wishes only. It is not a time for meeting the party line, but for each of us to stand in our hearts and listen to the wisdom there, and there alone. Are we going to leave it to our children when the situation will be graver and the room to maneuver tighter, the outcomes that much more precarious and crucial? And are we really expecting that in the climatic situations to come that our grandchildren will care what happens to the bones of those who cursed them? They will spit on them, and forgotten to them we shall be cast out. Are we really so dull, so selfish in our hearts, stuck in old rights that we would burden them so? Are we so blind, so uncreative, so dead already? Creativity is the nature of us. It is the nature of life. We are creative. It is how we have made well. We need to come up with a solution to mind shift and fast. And we need to heart shift, radically changing our perceptions of what a burial ground is, of what nature is. Thinking and doing as we have done is what has brought us to this point. All that's left of Easter Island are faces we do not know upon great stone monuments. We need to think very critically and very quickly. The Bible says we are the guardians of this earth. Islam says that when you die, the ground will speak for you. Replacing these old woods with new trees is like replacing a council of elders with a bunch of infants. I come across as emotional because I am human. There is a very real heartfelt grief and horror I feel. But being an emotion makes it not undue for consideration, but all the more so because emotions make my life real. We might as well be computers if we discard and ignore the emotions we feel. We talk of real love, real hate, real trust, and real respect. All feelings. What do those mean if we do not value their truthful state of being? This is not just a case of our rights to burial, but a case of a human's rights to live. Air quality means not how nice the air is, but how suitable it is for breathing. You know that thing that we have to do all the time. Life depends on a network of green corridors. Take away the networks and you unequivocally kill the populations. Are we to demand that our children give up their survival just so we will have a box of ground to call our own for 75 years' worth of perpetuity? Rather, we'd be pleased to feed the tree that already grows strong. We have to own the choices made today, our burials or our children's shot at existence. Have we not failed them enough already? We have to own the choices we make today. Our burials here or our children's shot at existence. Have we not failed them enough already and left them quite enough to contend with? Our children's futures are our most precious ideas, and we hold their faces, their lives in our hearts. We cannot remove their habitat and expect them to live. The wild places are our home. Let us keep it in good order, good repair, as caring, responsible parents do. Care less for our own deaths and more for their lives. They are coming. They will take breath, see with their eyes, understand and know in their hearts, suffer the fates we are passing on to them. One day they will watch their own children face deeper fears of survival, greater travails of the body. My sadness and grief are nothing compared to my daughter's. Am I to expect that she will feel any different for the babies at her own bosom, or they for theirs? We have nothing to lose but a hole in the ground. If we take another path, we have everything to give.